Mzwandile Mbeje, our SABC News Politics Editor, is in Durban and joins me now. It's been quite a day, Mzwandile, and it seems like it's still going to be quite a day ahead as we kind of play this guessing game around whether the president of the party, Cyril Ramaphosa, is going to close that conference. Just to share with us the latest on that front.
Well, a very good evening to you, Iman, and of course the viewers of SABC News. We still do expect the president of the ANC to address the delegates here. When we look around, we can see the evidence of his presence. Remember, we haven't seen him in person, but of course those accompanying him, either the security or the people really that assist him as the president of the country. Remember, as much as he's the president of the ANC, he remains the president of the country, so everything that has to accompany him in terms of security is always with him. So we have been able to see that he is around, he's in town. Earlier, Iman, you know very well, there have been conflicting messages of whether he was going to come or he was not going to come. But as matters stand now, so it's our firm belief, given the events that are unfolding, that indeed he will be able to address the delegates here. What has just happened now is that the commissions, or rather the plenary, has just resumed. They are looking at some few reports, and then after that there'll be a short adjournment. So we anticipate that if they're on time, so the president of the ANC is likely really to speak perhaps at 6 or just after 6, and then we'll take it from there. We'll be moving towards closure, because the process of voting for the additionals will take long. I don't see that concluding today. Perhaps they can vote, but the process of counting, I suspect it will be deferred for another day.
Just a quick word and a reminder for our viewers who might not have been following the developments in that trajectory around whether the president would speak or not. Why was it in doubt in the first place?
Well, it's quite interesting, Iman, because this doubt actually was created by the very leadership of this, the newly elected leadership of this province. Early this morning, the chairperson of the ANC, the newly elected chairperson, Siboniso Duma, when he spoke to the media, he basically said he's got a message of support and congratulations from the president, but then indicated to him that because of other commitments, so he would not be able to then attend this event. But later on, a few moments later, so that message somehow did change to say, actually, as had been communicated earlier, the president was going to address the gathering as had been communicated. So that confusion now started. So we did not know what exactly was happening. But of course, we had to do our own digging and look at what exactly was the situation. And then in the final analysis, so we were able to see that well and confirm that indeed he is around. So which then points to one conclusion, that he indeed will speak.
A decisive victory for Mdumiseni Ntuli, Mzwandile. Talk to us about the changing of the guard in that particular very important position, and also what it means now for Zikalala.
Well, this is very interesting. Because when you remember, Iman, how what happened when Sihle Zikalala took over from Senzo Mchunu, who was the chairperson then, and of course the premier. So after he was defeated, Senzo Mchunu, he was recalled as the premier of this province. So the question now is, will the new guys do the same to Sihle Zikalala? But of course, when we spoke to Siboniso Duma last night, he basically said he is not for purging, but you and I know very well that this is politics. Sometimes there'll be reality, sometimes there'll be truth, but all the time there is always politics that determines what direction happens. So we will wait and see. In fact, in terms of this campaign, that was very interesting. You'd remember when we were speaking earlier, before this conference started, we had been told that about 7 people were contesting for the position of chairperson, but in the final analysis it was only 2. So you had groupings, the other grouping which called itself the Taliban, and the other one which supported the status quo, and others said the grouping was aligned to the current president. But when you go and look thoroughly at who actually are these people. Siboniso Duma, for example, Iman, so was one person who was very known to support the president of the ANC, the current president of the ANC. And of course, the same thing that happened to Dr. Mahlaba. But in the end, it would appear the provincial dynamics turned friend against friend, the fools became friends, because this is politics and it is interest that really determine what happens. So in the bigger picture, it is very difficult to see where exactly this is going. That is why, Iman, the reception of the president when he comes here will be very key. Is he going to get a warm reception? Is he going to get a hostile reception? It's only, I think, only time will tell. It's a matter of maybe less than an hour or hours if they are delaying, but tonight we'll get a bit of a picture.
Tonight is the night, Mzwandile, and we're going to be watching it along with you. And as they say, politics is the ultimate polygraph. When you talk about allegiances between friends, when politics and power come into the equation. We'll check back with you a little bit later on. Mzwandile Mbeje is the SABC's politics editor.